She used to own Made to Order, actually, years ago. And she's moved to Franklin. Are you in Franklin?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyhow, she's.
I have you a cup of water. We have to be here.
I'll give you her card.
Okay. Great.
Working right outside the door. Okay.
Awesome.
Good morning.
Seems like forever since I was here. It's been a month?
Hi, Carlene.
Have your water.
Take off. I'm gonna be walking around, so just wanted to give you a view of my costume.
Oh, Carlene, you look great.
Okay, gotta go. I mean, I'm not gonna be talking anymore.
Now, how do we get Bob?
I'm trying,
See Bob.
Well, they can see me because I'm here.
Can everybody see the King of Bling?
I think I'm gonna sneeze.
Hey, Bob.
Next corner of the counter, I think.
You look fantastic.
Thank you.
All right, good to see everybody this morning. Hi, Marie, and your fan, ceiling fan.
I must have told you this before when I first started, when I was getting all these treatments and everything during the COVID. My doctor used to tell me all, early days of telehealth, used to always say, do you know how many people with ceiling fans I see trying to do a FaceTime or, whatever it was at the time?
It is actually very hard to know if
Your son.
someone is understanding what you're saying when you can't see their eyes. So I get it. Marie, if there's any chance you're willing to tip your screen just a little bit so I can see your pretty face,
I can tip it.
then I can tell whether or not things are happening. Hi, Jackie. Thank you. Hi, Lou.
Howdy,
How's it
Well-
going?
long time no see.
I know. I guess the water has receded.
That's right. So far, so good.
Good. Good. All righty. We're going to go ahead and get started. Morning, Medina.
Good morning.
You look more awake than usual.
No.
Well, we had a couple of assignments. Martin was going to check on something.
I sent you an email with regard. I hope you got it. I haven't been able to get to that because of the election going on. I'm very active in politics here, so I haven't
Okay.
branched
No,
out.
I did not see an email from
Yeah.
you.
Huh. Oh.
Okay. Well, that's all right. You didn't get to do it. Remind me what you were going to do.
I kind of forgot. But
Does
anyway,
anybody remember? Martin had an
I remember.
assignment.
it was
Joy Center.
it would be eliminating apps that you're not using automatically. I believe that was
Okay, no, he was checking on something. Linda.
Martin and I were doing the same thing. We were seeing if we could sign on to our iPhones 2-factor or 1-factor or what it took to get on.
Okay.
And we were supposed to have somebody else get on besides us so they could see.
Right. Okay. All right. So it was a simple one, Martin. It was just power down your phone
yeah,
and then have Louise turn it on and
yeah.
have Louise's face in front of it and
Right.
see what does it require to unlock your phone.
I see.
Okay. That's the whole thing. It was pretty
Yeah.
easy.
All right. Because all right. Well, I have to take. She's not around now, so I'll
Yeah,
Check.
we didn't want to do it during class time.
Yeah, right. So okay, we'll see if we can do better on the future assignments.
All right, Linda, what did you discover?
Well, strangely, when I sign on, it's sometimes I go fast and I think it's taking both of them, both my photo and my password, or I swipe. It allows me to do that. And when I looked into my settings, it said 2-factor authentication. But when I powered down and handed it to my sister and had her sign on, all she needed was my password. So I don't understand that.
I'm
Is it
really
once
glad you went
get
and looked
on?
in your settings and it said you had the 2-factor authentication on. Because I
It
really
did.
do think that Apple was requiring that. and that you really
And
had to
I
work
would
hard
hope
to
so.
opt out of it, you know?
I would hope so. But the funny
Yeah.
thing is, whoever's in the house, the family members, when we're picking up each other's phones, we just put in the password, and it just seems to do it. But like I said, I'm doing it. It wants to know it's me, so I don't get that. I have to go more.
Yeah, I don't either. Again, Scott's gone, so he's on a mountain biking trip this time. Enjoying the retired life.
Oh, you kids.
I know. So we'll delve
Wow.
into that some more because I'm still curious about the whole thing with an iPhone. Because what happens when I power down as an Android user, it from day-to-day use, if I just, you know, the screen is locked and I can fingerprint it to open it up, and then that just opens up my screen. That's one thing. But when I power down, it requires me to put in the password as well. So anytime I do an update, it requires a password as well. So I'm curious that Apple wouldn't do that. But anyway, we are being recorded. We're doing YouTube live streaming. So I'm not going to send it out to everybody from now on. And Linda, did you get that?
I did. Thank you very
Okay,
much.
good.
Yes.
Because I think that gives folks an easy out not to get up out of bed. And if Medina can do it, we all can do it. So if somebody misses class because they were sleeping in, they're going to have to ask for the code to get in. So, you know, perks for showing up and getting out of bed, everybody.
I'm glad I'm good for something.
You are good for many things, my friend.
Yes, Medina. You are.
So what I wanted to talk about this week was remote access. I wasn't aware, and I love when I get on an idea and have to research it. I was not aware that there was a way that you could have, let's put this differently. Not you, because nobody in this room needs it right now. But let's say you have a good friend or a family member who needs some help. Maybe they're starting to forget how to use technology, and yet they still have to access their technology. You know, we have different stages of needing help with those cognitive tasks. So in the past, very well aware of computer systems that will help you from a tech expert point of view. I have had my computer taken over by remote access by Microsoft. And that's a well-known feature of, you know, back in the early days. But now you can also do this with somebody you trust. So it doesn't have to be, you know, the guy from Microsoft that you're paying $100 an hour. Or also it doesn't have to be the person whom you wonder, is this real? Am I getting scammed? Because there is that. There is plenty of opportunity for scams where people will tell you you have a problem. And I can't name names, but I can tell you people, yay, Amy's here. I can tell you people who have had a pop-up come up on their PC, and it makes the screen red and it says warning, you know, you have been whatever, your computer is whatever, you know, fill in the blank of some dreadful, horrible thing. And it actually hasn't. But this person clicked on it, worried that their computer was having a major problem, and here was the fix. And they thought that it was coming from their antiviral program, and it was not. It was a scam. And this is an old one, so this isn't anything that's current. But they clicked on it, and then they got the help desk. And it was somebody, because they had clicked on it, they had literally given remote access to their computer. And just like with a good tech expert, you can sit back and they're moving the mouse around and they're clicking things and fixing things. Except with the scam, obviously they're not fixing things, they're stealing things. So there's always that worry. I've had that little pit of my stomach worry of when you do get tech experts, and is this real? So very cool that how many people, first of all, question, Linda, did you get your new computer yet?
I have it on my desk and I'll be working with my remote tech person who I trust very highly. He came very highly recommended. So if I leave early today, that's why. But I'm not hooked up yet, but we will be.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what kind did you get?
It's one I never heard of. It's an all-in-one, which I have had before and I like it. And it's a Lenovo.
Yep, I've had Lenovo's.
So all-in-one means the screen and there's no separate tower. The
Yeah.
computer is within the back of the monitor.
Yeah, those are interesting. I didn't know they were still
the
making
one I
them.
had before was a touchscreen also.
I love touchscreens. So, and it's going to run Windows?
Oh, it's going to run Windows 11, which my current computer will not do.
Good. Okay.
Although it doesn't come highly recommended, so but you don't have a choice.
You don't. You don't. So, and Joyce
As far
is
as-
going to say,
yeah.
oh, you had a choice when you laid down that credit card.
Yeah, right.
Joyce is a very happy Mac user, right?
Right.
Yeah, my husband would say the same thing. So, with Windows 11, which I didn't know this, if you have operating system 10 or 11, and you need help, you press Control key, the Windows key, the little logo, you know, the 4-pane logo, and the Q key, while your buddy who knows more than you does the same thing. And Windows Quick Assist appears. It creates a code that the helper shares with the person needing assistance, and you put that in. So let's say Scott's somewhere else and I need help and Mr. Wizard knows more than I do. So we're going to hit Control, Window, and Q. And then he's going to get a code, which he'll give to me, that I give him remote access to my computer that way. And he can, from his computer, look at mine.
Wow.
I didn't know that. I didn't know it was literally that simple. How about that? So, and that may be what your computer guy is doing. Computer person, might be a woman. I don't know.
The guy.
But for
It's a
all-
guy, and I don't know how he does it. That's very interesting.
So I would ask him, just for our curiosity's sake, ask him how he does that.
I'm going to.
Sending that to you.
Um,
The list.
so Martin,
Yeah.
When you hit Control plus the window icon plus Q, are there any buttons that are supposed to be hit simultaneously, or are these separately hit?
no,
You know.
these are all simultaneous.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah. It's just, and that's a great question. Thank you for backing me up on that.
you. Mhm.
Just like if you were to hit Control Alt Delete, which brings up your Windows Manager,
Yes.
they all have to happen at the same time.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, great question, Martin. So if you're using an Apple computer or a PC with an older version, there are several free apps that will do the same. So I did not investigate these at all. I investigated the phone help ones. So I'm going to give these names to you. And if you're curious at all about this, you go, oh, my nephew knows a lot, but he lives in Phoenix, and I really, really trust him, and he's brilliant. And he's willing to help me with those tough things. Cause right now, most of you can solve most of your computer problems. You guys are really good at that, but let's just say you do need extra help and your nephew is brilliant. So there is DW. So D is in dog, W is in walrus, service, DW service. That's one of them. And this is an app, but it's a computer app, not a phone app. Another one is called AnyDesk, A-N-Y Desk, D-E-S-K. And then there is Chrome Remote Desktop. And then the last one is Team Viewer. Team like you're on a sports team, viewer all together, all one thing. Now, I did look at Team Viewer for phones. So we're going to get into that in a minute. Did anybody need me to repeat those who are going to look into this as a possibility? It's great to have this as, you know, kind of your fallback. Computer help is expensive these days, and it's nice if you can have somebody else help you with it. All right. I highly recommend you not do this with somebody you think you can't trust. I'm just saying what has to be said. I am aware of somebody in not too distant past who gave all of their passwords to a helper.
Ouch.
Wasn't a family member, wasn't a personal friend. It was just a helper, and have possibly gotten scammed by that. So we want to be really, really careful as to who we give that access to. All right. I'm going to quickly go into, you can also do this with your TV, which is like, what? Everybody should have this. But then I was unhappy to see that it's expensive, in my opinion. And I think I would try and solve the problem on my own. But the TV help is called Jubilee, Jubilee TV, Jubilee TV. And they can do the same thing. They literally have remote, and not they, somebody that you do this with, right? Not an unknown person out in the universe, but somebody that you're doing this with. You say, you know, hey nephew, help me. The charge for Jubilee TV is $29 a month. I'm like, what? That's more than most streaming services. So I can't imagine needing that badly. However, maybe for somebody who was incapacitated, like completely incapacitated. I used to work for a man who had MS or muscular dystrophy, and he had the use of one pinky and his neck up. That was it. Nothing else on his body could move. So, and his day was TV, you know, I mean, until I got there and got him washed and in the chair and out the door, his day was TV. There was literally nothing else he could do. So, you know, in that situation, okay, I can see that. I can see where that would be useful, because you can change channels, adjust the volume, and change all kinds of other settings in a TV. So this is remote access to a smart TV. Just tuck it in the back in case you need to know that. Medina.
Okay, so this information you gave us, for instance, about for a Mac, for an Apple. Okay, that means if I have a nephew who's very good, I would give him this information.
And you need to do it too.
Oh, I would press, I would use this DW service or AnyDesk. We both need to do it.
Yes. Yes, you both have to have it loaded. Because those are apps, you would just go to your app store on your computer.
Right.
It's an app store on a Mac, right?
Yes. Yes.
And you would just download that app. It's interesting. I don't know why. There's zero reason for it, other than maybe I'm just a little bit old-fashioned too. I love apps on my phone, and I just am not a fan of apps on my computer. There are many programs that I use, Zoom, Canva. There's several others where I could do it web-based, where I, put the address in the address bar, or they say, would you like to use this through the app? And every time I've tried them, with both, and I'm kind of like, the app seems like a simplified version. It seems like all the graphics and the way everything is arranged seems like it's arranged for somebody who is too lazy to read. A total judgment on my part. But you know how apps, and when they update apps, everything looks different and it seems like simpler, more, I don't know, childlike in for lack of a better word. Jackie, you have a weird flashing going on. She must have like great energy going from her head. Maybe can you turn the computer a little bit? Because I literally
I can turn it this way. We have to be in a different spot. I have a workman outside the dining room.
That's better though. Thank you. It's
Okay.
not quite so flashy.
It's the palm trees blowing. The sun is coming in.
Wow.
Palm trees are blowing. Sorry.
That's okay. It's a little bit better. I just keep thinking she's got the disco thing happening here.
It's a Halloween thing. She sort of
Yeah.
goes
Halloween
to-
strobe lights.
That's right. That's right.
So, anyway, I personally don't use apps on my computer. Like I said, they seem too simplified for me. But I do use them on my phone all day long. I mean, that's the way to go, is on a phone, because things are designed. Oh, Sue Ellen made it. Welcome. Sue Ellen? Is it Sue Ellen? Yeah. It's hard to see far away. We're at least 12 hours away from each other. So, but these are specifically apps. So you would go to your app store, you would download the apps on your computer. Okay. Now the next one gets me pretty excited because if I am offering, if someone would like to be a guinea pig or just whatever, there is phone help. So for Android phones, so Android to Android, there's something called Air Mirror. Air like the stuff we breathe, and then mirror, the thing you look at. Make sure your hair is right. Air Mirror all together. And I did look at these. I read, let me go back to this one. And put it in again, because I looked at all of them this morning. All right, so first thing I want to say, when I put in, and this is just a little reminder for everybody. So I typed in the search bar, Air Mirror. Does Air Mirror come up first? No, I don't know why they do this, but as Amy would be quick to notice, it shows up as a sponsored thing, right?
Stay away from it.
Stay away from sponsored. You just never know. And what's insane is that it came up, it's called Questudio Parental something. So apparently it's a app that allows a parent to monitor their kids' phone use. But that wasn't what I asked for, right? So down, second one down, Air Mirror came up. So this is for Android phones. That's what the logo looks like. And that's Air Mirror. And then it goes on to say remote. The producer is Sand, like the stuff you see at the beach, Studio. So when I look at an app, and this is just a reminder for folks, first thing I'm going to see is what's the rating. People give it a 4.4. And then the more important question is, how many people are using it? 1 million plus. Okay, so this is not a brand new thing. People have been working on it. There are, of this 4.4, there are 26,000 reviews. 26,000 reviews is a lot of people giving their input about it to come up with a 4.4. So that sounds good. And then, you know, who's it for? It's for everyone. So I'm happy with that. But then the next thing I'm going to do, so I'm going to tap on this. I'm not going to tap on the install. I'm going to tap on the words itself, and then it gives me the full page of what it's about. So I'm going to scroll down just a little bit, and it right here, it gives me about this app. And you're going to hit the arrow, and then it's going to tell you everything you need to know about this app before you bother to install it. See whether or not it's something that's useful for you. sounds like, okay, good. One-way audio is available in screen mirroring and remote camera, and it goes on and on and on. It's quite long, which I like. They're really describing what does it do, how does it work, and all of that in great detail. So you kind of know what you're getting before you're not purchasing it. It's free, but before you download it, you know what you're in for. And this seems to be exactly what it says it's going to be, is that it allows someone else to look at your phone screen and help you with your smartphone problems. So again, going from one trusted user to the next, you know, somebody you know and trust and really, you know, are willing to give that to them, that access for that moment. It doesn't mean that you can't turn it off at any moment, right? So remember that, you know, okay, I gave it to my nephew. He helped me with this problem. Literally, there is no reason to keep that line open for the future. Cut the line, just like hanging up a phone call. Okay, nephew, we're done for now. When you need nephew again, do it again. You can even uninstall it, which I would personally feel more comfortable with going ahead and uninstalling, because we know that you install, uninstall, install. It's easy. It's just a little tap and it's gone. But what this does is it allows that person to control your phone so that they can help you, one, learn what you're not seeing. Because I can't tell you how many times somebody has described something on their phone, but if I'm not in the room looking at your phone as you're doing it, I have no idea what's really happening. It's very, very hard to do it with words alone. It's a very visual process. There are other apps, TeamViewer. Now, if you remember back to the computer conversation, TeamViewer also does that for computers. Apple computers or older PC window versions can also use TeamViewer. So it's kind of nice that that crosses both platforms, the phone and the computer. And then the other one is AirMore, M-O-R-E. I could not find AirMore. So I don't know whether or not, I don't know what happened to AirMore, but I couldn't find it in my app store. Amy says, Join Me is another one. Do you use that one?
At Catholic Charities, whenever we have problems, the tech guys have us use that one. So
is that one, I wonder if that one's free. Because you said those are the tech guys, they may pay for that service.
That's true. That's true.
As
Good
part of their
question.
business.
Yeah, good question.
These do not cost.
Okay.
But that's good to know too. I like that you have that specifically for somebody who's helping you. Linda, the one that so with your guy who's going to do remote access, has he given you any instructions in terms of like you're going to have this app or anything for him to gain access to your computer?
It's been a while, so I know he's got a couple of apps on there that I see. Yeah.
Okay.
But
we'll be curious how that whole process works. We're nosy. We want to learn. Let us know.
Okay.
Something else about that. Yeah, I just lost the thought. The other one, let's see. TeamViewer, AirMore. I didn't find AirMore. The other thing to keep in mind is that the source of this information. This all came from AARP, and AARP is not going to recommend something disreputable. So I always feel confident recommending anything that comes out of AARP because they do their diligence. They are not going to tell millions of people to download something that's a scam. Right. So I'm confident about the source. There may be other ones out there. Friends might use specific ones. Parents might use specific ones for their kids. Know that, and I don't remember which one it was, but there was a parental app that was recently majorly hacked. And there's so many of them out there. I don't remember which one it was. But I remember having read the article about the major hack, and then I was standing somewhere in a public place, and this dad was talking not about the hack, but how much he loved this app that monitors his kids' phone use. And I'm like, okay, I don't know you, so I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut. But that was the one that was hacked. And just like people can hack toys. Do you remember a while back there was a toy that was accessed by scammers, and they could literally talk to your kid. It was frightening, absolutely frightening. The company fixed the bugs, of course, but you know, they were literally talking through the kid's toy. And you know, with what we have in terms of
Amazing.
our remote information, our Alexas, our, you know, Google Help, and all of the other helpers that we have in our houses these days, and all of the smart technology, all of that, you know, can be accessed. So you want to make sure that you have protections on them. So if your kids are talking about, they have something where they're watching their children, your grandchildren, their activities, maybe, you know, as a good parent, what we do is we go, oh, that's neat. And then we go home and we look it up. And we look to see, is it really a good one? You know, is it a safe one? Is it, you know, because parents get a little distracted and they might not have time to do a whole bunch of research on stuff. So, but you might have time, and, you know, you care about what happens with your grandkids or your nieces or nephews. And so you might want to look into it and make sure it's one that has really good security on it. Now we're going to talk about good security. How are we doing on time?
Wait.
Yes, I am.
All right, so you were giving information for Android phones, correct?
Yes.
What about Apple phones?
Okay. Let me back it up. Okay, the Team Viewer and AirMore, which like I said, I couldn't find AirMore, but maybe you can, work with Android and Apple.
Oh, okay, I missed
Sorry,
that.
I forgot to mention that.
Team Viewer.
So it's AirMirror for Android to Android, and Team Viewer works with everybody.
Thank you.
And if
there-
you've got an app, what?
I said, is there a difference between AirMore and AirMirror?
Yes, a big difference.
Okay.
AirMirror is the one that works for Android phones.
Okay, got it.
And let me go into Scott's iPad for a minute, because I could not find AirMore on my Android App Store.
All right.
But I'm going to go in. Maybe I'll go in. There we go. I'm going to see if AirMore is just switched over to being Apple only. All right. This says AirMore connect with PC. Huh.
Oh.
And then there is AirMore Plus. So it's interesting. It looks like AirMore is the Apple only option. Although it says you could have an Apple, Apple users can download AirMore. And let's see, its rating is a 1, 2, 3.5 star. Let me just tap on that and see. Oh, I don't like that. It's a 3.5 star, and it only has 340 reviews.
Yeah.
That's pretty low. That's not something that I feel confident people like enough.
Kind of weak, yeah.
Yeah, kind of weak. I would not do that one. But the other one, Team Viewer, let me just see what in Team Viewer on my Android phone, it was a really good option as well.
So stick to Team Viewer. Okay.
Yeah, let me just look and see what it says on Apple. Team Viewer, oh, people like that. People like that. Yeah, Team Viewer, it has a 4.7 star rating and it has 38,000 reviews.
That's
So
big.
I would ignore Air More, and that might be why it's not even coming up on my Android. Android might have went, it's too buggy or whatever. Because oftentimes, you know, when something doesn't get good reviews, it's because they released the product before they really worked out the details of it.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily that is
Okay.
intentionally going to do harm to you. It's that they were really excited about this product they thought they had put together, and they were just going to go ahead and release it, and they didn't do their due diligence to make sure that all the bugs were fixed. But when you've got 38,000 people who really like it, and
Okay,
this
I see Team Viewer Remote and Team Viewer Quick something. The one that I'm looking at has like a
quick
blue and
support.
blue and white icon with an arrow going in both directions.
Yeah, quick Team Viewer Quick Support has a lot of ratings, but people don't like it so much.
Okay.
It's only a 2.6. It
okay.
says oh, interesting. Okay, so what's happened, okay, so right here on the reviews, and I love reading the reviews. I always read the best of and I read the worst of, because the worst of is going to tell you the truth. The best of is going to be like, why does this person think this? I don't know. So here's one, for instance. It says, watch out for scammers. I got a call from Apple saying that someone was trying to buy stuff from my bank account. Freaking out, they told me to download this app and onward. I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's a really long one. And basically they got a call and a stranger told them to download this. That's not what we're discussing, right?
Yeah.
This is not something that we would do. And when they did this review, to their credit, the app developer said, thank you for the feedback. We advise TeamView users to be careful with unsolicited phone calls and not grant access to anyone you don't know or trust. You know, I mean, we know this. You and I know this. We know this. How come there are still people that don't know this? That's what I want to know. Why do they not know this anymore? So that's what their response was to that. Now, on the other side, on the positive review, it said, I know it most likely won't do much, but as a technician who has used TeamViewer as a service for years, I'm leaving this review in hopes that some people will realize this app is legit. Yes, there are malicious individuals that abuse features of this app to scam, but the app is designed for people to get assistance with various functions on their device. So again, it's, you know, the most important part of being safe in the world of technology is you know, your knowledge, your critical thinking skills. And let's think about this. Somebody calls you up and says your bank account is being hacked. You need to download this app. You're going to be like, my bank would never call me.
Right.
They're just going to stop me from using my many things, you know, and then I have to call them. So, so TeamViewer, while it has that was in quick support, by the way. And then the other one is TeamViewer Remote Control. TeamViewer Remote Control says easy, fast, and secure remote access to Windows, Mac, and Linux systems, used on more than 200 million computers worldwide. And then it goes on to describe what all it can do. So, you know, if this is something that interests you, and I suggest, because we never know when we'll be incapacitated, or we never know when a friend of ours might really need something like this, and you'll be the help person. You might be the help desk for somebody who you worry about their cognitive abilities these days. You know, then have this kind of in your back pocket to know this is something that I can use to be helpful, or somebody can help me. Great questions, though. Any other questions about these remote access? Terry, Witchy.
I have a fast story. Maybe you've told it before, but back in kind of maybe 90s, and we had a big computer, and John was doing something, and he gets a devil on the screen or whatever. So of course he calls Matthew. He called, at the time a 30-year-old, whatever, a young son. And he tells him some stuff. And once he can't do anything, he says, you got to find somebody. At the time, I say, how am I going to call? I probably still had a phone book. When I couldn't use my computer, you didn't have a phone or anything like that. Anyway, by the time we found out from other people or a friend of Matthew's that still lived in New Jersey, it was like a 15-year-old kid with his mom. And he came in with like 2 laptops, and he came and downloaded our computer. I mean, I'm telling you, this is a while ago, and put it on the other one, and then did something, and they gave us our, got our computer back all working and everything like that. And I just thought it was like a Saturday Night Live skit or something. It was like, just okay,
Thank you. Joyce.
Okay, so just to reconfirm, let's say I download TeamViewer to help somebody else. Each time you go in, there's a confirmation. It's not like, let's say I give it to somebody and I'm helping somebody, and then their son comes in. Can they back end into my
Good
phone?
question. And I don't know the answer to it because I haven't done it.
Yeah.
That's why I had said what I would do is, one, cut the connection after you're done solving whatever problem that is, cut the connection in whatever way it allows you to do that. And then 2, I would uninstall it, because I really don't think I want an app on my device all the time that automatically, can easily, even if I need a code each time with that same person or not, I still would be uncomfortable. It's kind of like leaving a door open. In the springtime when the weather is beautiful and the bugs are low, you might leave the door open, but in the heat of summer or when there's a hurricane, you're just not going to leave your door open. So I'd just take it off, because it's very easy to reinstall. And thank you for reminding me, what I wanted to do was I wanted to know if there's anybody in this group, and don't answer me now, answer me privately, that would like to test this out with me, because I'd love to test it out. So if there's somebody who thinks that they might want to try this, and between me and you, and looking at either computer or phone, I would love to kind of run a tester with this. So think about it. Email me sometime whenever, after you've thought about it a little bit. Or, I can always do this with Scott. He hates being the guinea pig, but I could do this with Scott. But try it out with somebody, if you've got somebody in your life that you can try that out with, then do a little practice, do a little play and see, because it might benefit them as well, just to know about it. Surely we all have techie friends that just don't get up this early in the morning. But really good question. All right, the next thing I wanted to talk about was, very briefly, we're not going to talk about any deep scams, but I did want to bring up what Linnell had emailed me about. And she said, and Linnell is Marie's daughter, in case you didn't know. But Linnell said, IDX is the monitoring service I received due to the United Health data breach. You might already know this, but I found the article on Chrome extensions from Google Store troubling. Even 1% is too many. And remember, we were helping her with mapping. She's in Savannah now, smooth trip, no road issues. Luray Caverns in Virginia was pretty awesome if you haven't seen them. So thanks for that, Linnell. I would like to say, though, that, and she's not in the room, I was hoping she was going to be in the room, that when you say the article about Google extensions, we didn't talk about Google extensions, so I don't know what article she's talking about. So I'm going to have to look up and find out what is she talking about. And I'll also email her back and say, can you share that article with me? And then we'll talk about Google extensions. But I will say that I too, even though I haven't read the article and don't know specifically what she's talking about, I always have a bit of a pull back when it says you can use this extension. So what's an extension? Anybody know?
No, and I'd like to know.
Okay. So
Is
we're
it,
going.
is it the letters like after the dot at the very end?
Good question, but good guess, but no.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I like them. I don't like them. That was
Okay,
my
who's talking and what?
Carlene's talking.
Okay. You don't like them? Go ahead, tell us more.
Oh, just my experience with them has been years and years ago, but they just seem to add a bunch of junk. I mean, it just wasn't beneficial to me.
Yeah.
But maybe it is. Maybe I didn't know how to, and maybe it's different now. This was on a laptop, maybe a desktop. It's been so long ago. So
okay. Thank you. I kind of have the same thing. There's junk involved with it, and I don't really know. That's just so not necessary. And I always figure if there's junk involved with something, it means that somebody's getting paid that way, sort of like ads. So what I'm going to do is I went to my Google home, my search screen. Okay. And up, you all can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going up to the 3 dots up in the corner next to my tiny little icon. So in the 3 dots here, I scroll down to my menu and there are extensions. And it says manage extensions or visit the Chrome web store. So let's look at manage extensions first. The extensions that I have are Adobe Acrobat, which I have had to have. And honestly, I'm okay with that one. It doesn't have a lot of junk. I think that Adobe has so much money, and I guess that because it's so expensive. If you have the paid version of Adobe, then I just don't have it because it's more than I can afford or willing to pay. But it is a very good program. It's been around for forever, and it's mostly been in the purview of professionals. That's why, like, when I save a document and share it with other people and I don't want them messing with it, I always send it as a PDF file because most people I know don't have Adobe, the kind that you can actually change a document. So that keeps the integrity of the document if I'm sharing a document with someone else. So Adobe, I'm actually kind of happy with. Google Docs Offline. This is, I believe, just the same as Google Docs, but it allows me to do my stuff without having internet access. So it's not a separate company. Grammarly, however, oh, Grammarly's so annoying. So annoying. And on one hand, I like it a little bit because it's pretty good. But now that Grammarly has gotten more into AI, it wants to correct every darn thing I say. And whereas Google recognizes my speech and writing pattern and is happy with it because it's like, well, that's just Betsy. Grammarly wants to make it like it's a professionally written paper for a university, an Ivy League university. It won't let me say things like really. I really, really appreciate all the help you gave me today. That's how Betsy would talk. Grammarly wants those reallys out of there. I appreciate your help. Boom. That's it. So, and Grammarly's always got something to say. I have it on one of my Chrome profiles. I don't have it on the other one. I'm pretty much ready to get rid of it altogether. So let's do that today because it's annoying. I liked that it was a spell checker app, but I don't need it. All right, why did you uninstall? And I'm going to tell them why. It, gets in my way. I'm going to go with that. And what else? It's not intuitive. I can't control. Yeah, I'm going to say it just gets in the way. All right, and tell them that's how I feel about it, and boom, there you go. Maybe they'll fix it at some point in time. All right, so now I'm going to close this window. I'm going to go back, and then the other one I have is Lumen, which is also a PDF editor. Lumen is one that I believe my realtors required at some point in time when I had to sign a document remotely. I've not had any problem with that one either. Again, I think it's a well-funded one that allows you to, they send you, the closing statement and you've got to sign on the dotted line remotely because I'm, 12 hours away. So I have used both of those. I don't find a problem with those. Joyce.
Okay, so now, I've had times when somebody has given me a PDF, and I don't believe I have a PDF editor. I might have one and not even know about it.
Okay.
Is Lumen something that I should look into? For instance, Linda made a lovely poster as it came in as a PDF, and I had to, but it had to be changed, and her computer is down, and I couldn't change it, so we had to pass it off to somebody else.
Good point. Good point. Yeah. For that instance, because I don't think Lumen is free.
Yeah.
The reader is both with Adobe and Lumen. The reader and the opportunity to put in, to fill in a form, which is the only way that I've used it. Those are free. Those are just, the person who owns the program sent me something and it's got, the box I've got to fill.
Yeah.
That's free. It doesn't cost me. But I think to do any editing changes in a document, I don't think it's free. I have a much better suggestion for that, but Linda had her hand up.
That wasn't a PDF document, but I have a question on this subject. It was a different program that I have that you can change it. I'm just looking at this. Is Google? I'm looking at the extension. So I have Google Docs offline spreadsheets, and is that as good as Microsoft Word and Excel?
That's an excellent question. They are very, very similar. Google documents all of the kinds of documents that you can do, from PowerPoint, which is called slides, to Sheets, which is, I just went blank. The green one that Microsoft has.
Spreadsheets. And like lists, like Maria gives us a.
You mean like
Excel?
Excel. I knew there was an X in there. Those are, the Microsoft ones are more refined, have a few more features. And depending on the need, we had this conversation when Medina said, Microsoft doesn't cost. I no longer have access to any of the Word suite because I don't have that computer anymore. And that computer was many generations ago when you got the disk and you put it in, you paid for it, you put it in, and now it's a subscription service.
Right.
So if you have a computer that you don't have it installed in, every time somebody sends me something in Word and I try and open it, I can't, because I don't pay for Word, which really irritates me. But what I have found is that all of the Google Docs options work almost as well. I would say in Docs, the only thing that I miss is they don't have word art. So, if you've done posters and flyers where you can take a phrase and then bend it and make it, rainbow colored or fade out with this, and, all kinds of different options with word art, Google Docs doesn't have that. But I use Canva for my flyers now, because you can have a free Canva account and do pretty much anything you want to do in Microsoft or Google Docs, but arty. So you want to make very graphic, very pretty, very interesting visually productions. I use Canva. Canva is free.
Canva?
Canva.
C,
Can't like a canvas, but no S at the end.
with a V, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna show it to you for a minute because I'm just starting to explore Canva. The two things that I love absolutely the best about Google Docs, all of Docs, spreadsheets, slides, all of that, and Canva is that I can share with a co-conspirator. I mean, co-editor. So when I'm creating something, somebody says, hey, can you create this for me? I create it, and then I can share it with them, and then they have access to monkey around with it too. So the two of you are both working on the project. So what'd you just send me?
I just sent you a picture. I was gonna wish Martin a happy birthday. I just sent this picture.
Thank you very much.
I didn't know I had to share that picture though. I got it from, look at that.
Thank you very much.
Who is that handsome dude?
Yeah.
Well, that was years ago.
Holy smokes, Martin. Whoa.
Excuse me.
I know
but
some movie
couldn't-
stars from that
I
era
happened
that
to
didn't
be-
look that good.
It happened to
Thank you,
pop up
thank
on
you,
my
dear.
phone when a minute ago.
We
Yeah.
now take a commercial break to look at a good looking guy. Medina.
Where did you get that photograph? How did you get that?
From your
Oh.
wife on social media.
Oh, my goodness. My fan
She's a
club.
tech student and she knows these things.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Medina.
I'm sorry, but I still don't really understand what an extension is.
Okay. So an extension, I think, is, I can't give you a formal definition, but I'm going to go back to it and we're going to just look at it for a minute. An extension is something that you add to your computer. You have to download it, just like you would download an app, but it's something that you're using on your computer. And with your computer, so let's see, if I go back, let's just go look for a second. I think this will define it even better. So these are things that I have added to my computer that do a specific tool. They're a program, but they're, I don't know why they call it extension. Let's look at the Chrome Web Store and see if we have a better idea. Supercharge your browser with extensions and themes. Oh, I seriously don't need themes. But so there are categories and they're telling me all of these kinds of things. So it just looks like an app store for a PC, right? All kinds of, you pick what it is that you might want to do. And I don't know. I really don't know why I would want any of these. Dictionaries, games, personalize your Chrome. They're programs that work within the web-based, right? So it's something that helps you by using the web. So it's not a standalone thing. I don't believe they work if you don't have internet access. Unless like one is specifically designed like that, like the Google offline docs is specifically designed to not have access to the internet at the time I'm doing it. But we'll talk more about extensions because I want to get that article from Linnell and find so we can have a deeper discussion. We'll do that next week because we're going to have to go pretty quick. Oh, our pirate made it. Wow, you look great. We were only seeing part of it when you were in the car. You look amazing.
I gotta leave. I'll see you next week, okay?
Okay, and for those of you, one quick thing, we'll see you, is that I want to show you Canva as an example. So, let me get that out of my way. Yeah. Okay, Canva. All right, can you see the screen that says Discover Droptober?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so there's the word Canva, C-A-N-V as in Victor, A. and I can look at, let's see, trying to see, I had some documents that were about, okay, flea market. Here we go. So here's a flyer that I produced for Senior Games, and it says right away, open this design in Canva app. No, I'm okay, because I don't like it in the app for some reason. But here is the flyer, and all of these features, every single thing I put in is because Canva has these options for me. So I can, for instance, put in and upload a picture that I have put on my computer here. I can change how I write. I can make things headings. I can draw specifically. I can put in all kinds of elements. I can create whole new designs, and it has a huge, huge, huge library of specific designs for specific things. Let's say I want to do a yard sale. And then it's fall yard sale flyers. And I click on that, and it's got all of these things. And each feature in this allows you to change. Just like I go over here, I can change the name. See how it's highlighted in purple? I don't like that leaf. I can get rid of it. I can change the color of it. I can change the date and time, all of these things. Going back to design, what I do want to point out, I don't know if you can see, but in the corner, there's a little crown. And this little crown means that it is Canva Pro. That is the paid version. So, but there are many options that don't have it. Like this one here doesn't have the crown in the corner. So I can use this one and all of its features for free. Scrolling down, this one's free, this one's free. This one has a crown, so it's a pro. So lots of options for that. And then let's say that I want to share this. I go up in my corner up here and I click share, and there's a couple of ways I can share it. One, I can just put in your email address, and then it allows me to share it with you, and then you and I both work together on it. Or I say, only I can access it, or anyone with the link can access it. I can, if I am done with it and I just want to show it to somebody for their feedback and I don't want them monkeying around, I download it. When I click the download, it then saves it to my computer, and then I can send it to them in a protected format so that they're not going to monkey around with it. The other thing that I really like is when I come over here and I go to my Google Docs, for instance, and actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my other account. I'm going to go to my Great Heart account, and I'm going to go here and I'll go to Google Docs or spreadsheets or slides or any of those. And I look at a document, and I was going to look and see if I had the one that I had sent Jerry. Here we go. Here's one that I sent Jerry. So this was for the Historical Society, and they were talking about an event that was coming up. So I did this for Jerry. And so now I can share it, right? I can go up here and I can click share, and I can say, who do I want to have access to it? So if I just say Jerry O'Cathy, and then I put in Jerry now, right now, notice he's editor as well. I'm owner, but he can be editor. I can click this. I can make him just a viewer where he doesn't mess with it, or he can make comments and edit, or he can be a full-on editor. So, and then I always notify the people, and then I just give them a message and say, hey, you're getting this document. Now, just know that if I put in Jerry, which I had done before, his email is Comcast, okay? He's going to have to get access to that. If Jerry gave me his Gmail account, he would be able to go right in. He would just go into his Gmail and go to shared documents, and boom, there it is. But using any other Yahoo or Hotmail or whatever, then they have to ask you permit. They send you an email back. They ask you permission, even though you said yes. And then you have to grant them permission, and then they can go in. It's far easier if you have a Gmail account that you don't use on a regular basis for emails, just share it Gmail to Gmail and work within the Gmail platform. Very simple. All right.
Very simple question. So the difference between this and the app is that the app is situated on your computer, whereas this is situated in the extension is situated in the cloud.
Correct. Correct. We're going to talk a little bit more about extensions next week when I get the information from Linnell, so that somebody had something bad to say about Google extensions. So I want to see what's the latest on that. And then we'll talk about that and go into a little bit deeper. If you want, go ahead and look at some extensions this week. Just go extension store and poke around,
For hair?
Thank you.
Thank you very
Oh,
much.
look at those cuties.
Oh,
Have a great day and happy Halloween, everybody.